Welcome back to the Seaboard Central, everyone, and the September 2025 layout update. And this is a really big update, so let's get on with the show. And first up, what you're looking at is a couple of brand new cars from Homeshops LLC. And these are former Allagash Boxcars. Now, as you know, Allagash no longer exists. It's a freelance railroad that is owned by Mike Confalone, and he's started a new railroad that took the place of the Allagash called the Androscoggin in western Maine. But these cars, these Allagash cars, came out, and I was always been a huge fan of the Allagash and his new railroad. And the history goes is as that new railroad came about, there became a bunch of Allagash boxcars on the market, ones they didn't keep. And of course, the Seaboard Central acquired a few, and they simply patched them out and put them into service. You can see they have new Seaboard Central numbers, but they retain their fallen flag paint scheme. Now, Mike has a YouTube channel called 1978 Eagles. He doesn't post a whole lot to it. This whole time I'm thinking it's the Eagles band. So one of the cool songs way back then, I think 1974, Eagles had a song called Midnight Flyer. I actually featured it in a short. I had Cody with K-Rail weather up these cars and add the graffiti. But it turns out Mike was a 1978 Eagles football fan from when he was a kid. So I took this one and I actually added my own version of the Eagles logo on the side, which is pretty cool. Something else, another excellent modeler is Neil Schofield. His YouTube channel is NRS 8400. If you have never seen that, I'd invite you to check it out. He has some incredible modeling as well. And so I had him, since Neil's a good friend of Mike's, operates on this layout a lot, I thought I'd have Cody add both of their YouTube channels on this car. And this is the other side. You can see it's got a new door. And here's the other side of this car, which has another song, Already Gone. I don't know if you've ever heard it from the Eagles. These turned out really nice. So during the month of September, I thought we'd try something new, something fun, and we're going to follow this one particular boxcar around the layout. And I'll show you all the moves that it makes, and we're going to use it's going to operate just like the prototype would. I'm going to show you some things that you may not consider when you're operating your train. So if you enjoy operations, be sure to check this series out. I think you'll like it. Another car I had Cody weather up for me is this Atlas plastic pellet hopper. It was an ACFX car. I had him re-letter it for CCBX. CCBX is actually a reported mark owned by Dow Chemical Company. And since I'm going to be modeling Southwire and Carrollton, they get a lot of their cars that are from Dow, including the CCBX mark cars. And I think he did a really excellent job on it. I like the rust patching, and also the graffiti turned out great. Something I did this past month was completely finish ballasting Gadsden Yard. So I got all the tracks ballasted, and I've actually started working on the Goodyear facility. I'm going to have, that's the unloading shed. I'm not finished with it. I just got it temporarily sitting there. I need to do some more to the tracks there, but I think it's going to turn out really good. I have an idea for it. I actually started putting in the concrete. I want to add some more concrete back there where that tank car is spotted up. You can see how the tracks are weathered. I got a video on how I ballast the tracks. If you're interested, be sure to check that out. Here you can see I've started adding some scenery to the edge of the layout. A lot of this product is from Martin Welberg. There are some Woodland Scenics products in there as well, but most of it is definitely from Martin Welberg, who makes some incredible scenery items. And I get all of my Martin Welberg products from Scenic Express. Here's a cool little mini scene that I did. Often you'll see where they've done a tire replacement program. They'll stack a bunch of the older tires up next to the right of way. Then they'll bring a private contractor in who will come through with a little skid steer like this and sort them out. And any ties that can be used as relay ties, say in secondary tracks like a yard or something, they may keep them, or they may simply just sell them off to landscape companies or big box stores who will purchase them. Ties that are really degraded real bad, they'll just dispose of them. Anyway, the little skid steer, that's made by GHQ. I found this online, and also I wanted to make it look like it's where it's been working back and forth is muddy, and I used that AK terrain mud to simulate that. These are all old ties that I just pulled off a track that I'd ripped up from the old layout and painted and weathered. And I really like how this scene turned out. So here's another cool little scene that I've been working on. I knew I wanted to put something like this in this little spot, an old L&N caboose. In real life, the Gadsden Yard was actually controlled by the L&N back in the day. I thought it was appropriate to have something like that here. You can see got the American flag up, and little park. I still would like to add something like a pavilion, maybe a train watching platform. That'd be really nice. So I control the layout with an NCE DCC system, and I have it divided up currently into two separate power districts. One district controls the entire upper level, that you see here, and that includes this ADM module. And another district controls all this yard trackage. Also, all the trackage in the helix, which is a whole lot if you would have stretched all this track out. In addition to that, it's powering 22 tortoise switch motors, and also possibly a lot of engines, since this is where the engine terminal is. So this brings me to the point. This district is drawing a lot of power when it comes to amperage. Now to power this district, this is what I was using, this PB5 booster. But I was running into some issues because of the amount of load. It was just too great for this one booster, and I had to do something out of the box. One of the issues has to do with this engine right here, along with others, but I'll just talk about this one for right now. This is actually a Scale Trains SD40-2, and the rest of these are either Kato, like the one in the background, or Athearn. Could be Athearn Genesis, or in the case of these two, these are just the Athearn ready to run. Now, all my locomotives are equipped with Loke Sound that has current keeper power packs in them. Now on the Athearns and that Kato unit back there, no issues whatsoever about the power packs working. But when it came to my Scale Trains engines, they would not work in this power district. Now, after some conversation with my friend Jason over at Georgia Bigfoot Trains to try to figure out why this was occurring, and he simply said that the power packs inside of the Scale Trains engines are larger. They're larger capacitors, so it requires a little bit more power to bring them up to a full charge. And they just was not receiving it in this particular power district because of all the things that was going on. It worked in the upper level, but not this section. So my dilemma was I could separate it into a third power district, or I could get a new booster, and that's exactly what I did. And I got this monster. This is a 10 amp power booster. It's called a powerhouse, and it's normally used to control O scale or larger. And I was worried it would work with HO, but I got assurances from a number of folks that said, no, it should be fine. And it is. And it's got more than enough power to power this district. No issues whatsoever with the Scale Trains now. They work perfect. And also, it's got enough power to throw that switch. Matter of fact, all of the switches throw a lot better now. And to power it, you see this is a gigantic transformer. It's big enough to where it actually has its own fan to keep it cool. So whenever I turn it on, you can actually hear that fan running which I thought might be an issue, but since I have sound equipped locomotives, once you turn those on, you don't even hear this little fan running. But yeah, was expensive, but for me, it's definitely worth it. So I'll show you what I'm talking about when it comes to power. So that's going to be it for this September 2025 layout update. If you did enjoy it and you're enjoying the channel, please like the video and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you next week. Until next time, I'm Tim Garland. Thanks for watching the Seaboard Central, and happy model railroading, everyone.